What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got for you 3 classic Entitled People stories. The second and third have really solid updates to them, so stay tuned for that. But the first one is ridiculous. This Karen lets an entire armada of toddlers loose at a children's museum. It is mental. Let's get straight into it. Karen let the toddlers out. Shocked she is banned. Our town has a children's museum. It's cute, full of activities from baby through to 9 or so. The baby and toddler areas have gates that latch for obvious reasons. Well, Karen decided she would use authority to have her toddler leave. So she opens the toddler gate and tells her child it's time to leave, now. Well, her kid doesn't move and clearly wants to stay and play. Instead of closing the gate though and retrieving the toddler, going on with life, Karen decided to hold the gate open and start demanding her toddler listen. So, of course, other toddlers book it out, and Karen continues to hold the gate open and does nothing to prevent this and just keeps yelling at her kid. Instant chaos as parents and a grandparent scramble out to catch the escaped tots. Toddlers are running to open elevators, to balconies, into the manager's office, and my child was booking it towards the stairs. I'm about to catch her when she ducks into the art room, messy but safe, and I notice a toddler nearly at the stair landing, which is a 2-story and is made out of stone. I glance quickly and I see a grandma going as fast as she can, but nowhere near fast enough, so I leave my kid to her painty fate and snatch up Darius and deliver him to a grateful grandma. I hear a dad say, "Close the gates," as he has one twin in surfboard meltdown and another has just booked it out of the gate towards me in the paint room. This Karen then yells at him that it's not her job to watch his kids. She's got 3 kids of her own to handle. She is still holding open this gate. I'm acting as a shepherd of sorts between the toddlers and the stairs. Paint is everywhere, with unsupervised tots not wearing their paint-proof smocks going hog wild. Apparently, my daughter's favourite colour is yellow. With this sudden chaos, a manager came to see what was happening, and 2 dads point to Karen, who finally picked up her child and shut the gate. Karen then tells the manager how she felt unsafe because the dad who yelled closed the gate, and she demands action. By then, I head over, my yellow gremlin in arms, as all the tots are corralled, and me and Grandma back up the dads and say how irresponsible her behaviour was. Karen then launches into a tirade about how it's not her job to watch all of our children. The manager tells her she is banned and she starts screaming, so security gather her and her 3 kids and march them out. I feel bad for her children, but honestly, girl, how entitled do you have to be? A simple, "I'm sorry I froze when the kids ran out, I wasn't thinking straight," literally anything, but she wanted to act like she was a victim of unsafe after releasing half a dozen toddlers into dangerous situations. Now, an edit to add. I've had a few women named Karen reach out to me and explain the vitriol they have experienced just for having that name. From doctors to waiters to complete strangers, they are instantly maligned. I believe the stories of the women reaching out to me so personally that I am done using Karen as a shorthand for an entitled person behaving poorly and demanding a manager. Wow, interesting thought. Okay, now the story itself here was a crazy story, absolutely mental. However, the thing I want to focus on is actually the last little edit there from OP. I don't know what to think about it, because part of me thinks, and we've talked about this before on the channel, that yeah, it is unfair that if you are called Karen, you are now sort of universally, at least by people on the internet or who know what Karens mean and know about the Karen meme, sort of tarnished with that brush. However, I don't know. I also sort of feel like you should be able to deal with that and be like, yeah, my name's Karen, but I'm not an actual Karen. If anything, it's more of an incentive to not be a Karen. But then again, has there ever been a name in the history of names where when all these people were born, there was no Karen connotations, and it's a perfectly nice name? I mean, my first nanny ever, or second nanny ever, is called Karen, and she wasn't a Karen. Yet, as they progress in their life, this thing becomes a thing, and they have to deal with it. Probably not, right? I can't think of any other name. I mean, apart from maybe if you were called Adolf before the 1930s, that might be one. But you know, like in the modern era, Karen, I can't think of another equivalent. So maybe OP is right. And I definitely agree with the point that a lot of Karens do hate the fact that their name now carries such vitriol, and I understand that. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Should we change the word Karen? Should it become a name that isn't associated with anyone, that it shouldn't be associated with? As in, should we use another descriptor? Should we just say entitled woman? Or is Karen completely fine? Interested to hear your thoughts. Now for our second story. Someone tried to steal our campsite. We've got a good group of friends and we camp together every year for Labor Day. 7 adults, 4 kids, 3 cars. We pay extra for the third car and are under the per person maximum per site. Reservations open 11 months in advance, and we book the same large site every year 11 months in advance. This is hands down the best site in the campground. Pull through for the camper, off by itself, huge space, set off from the road, facing the woods, a triple plus site. Some of the sites are much smaller. I was the first to arrive at the campground at about 9 PM Friday night. Every site is full, except for one. And it isn't ours. It's the next site over, and it's a site that clearly can't fit a 32-feet trailer. We're kinda in Metlahoma out here, and this trailer was probably made in the 80s, so I'm pretty nervous when I go up to knock on the door. I immediately drop into my best Oklahoma accent and go full Southern lady. I'm not gonna try to do this. Actually, you know what? I will. I'm terribly sorry to bother y'all, but here's my reservation email, and I think y'all are in my site. I'm just not going to do that. I'm just not. You enjoy that, but that's all you're getting. Oh no, this is the site we booked. Well, Mom, would you mind if I looked at your reservation email? If they double booked us, we'll figure it out. Oh, let us find the email. They close the door, and I wait 10 minutes. They don't pop out. I go ahead and call the ranger. They'll be here in 30 minutes. I wait 10 more minutes, and I knock on their door again. Were you able to find that email? Well, do we go to their website? No, it should be in your email. Well, what do you want us to do? We have kids asleep in here. Mom, my kids are asleep in the car, so I get it. We won't fit into that other site though. If we can't get into this one, we won't have a space to sleep tonight. They still can't find the email. My friend finally pulls up with their trailer. The ranger came right after. Magically, they somehow find the email. They're supposed to be in the tiny site. They're now appealing to the ranger. Oh, we're supposed to leave tomorrow morning. Can't we just stay here? It's so much work to back in a trailer for just one night. Okay, we can compromise. Okay, look, we'll find somewhere else tonight if you can be out by 7 AM tomorrow so that we can get in. To be honest, that's already extremely nice of you because you should be on that site. Well, how about 11? That's checkout time. Nope, this is our site. We'll be nice, but we've got a full day tomorrow and we need to be set up by 8 AM. But that's so early. We have kids, but I guess we can be out by then. The ranger, though, sees right through the potential drama that would happen at 7 AM the next morning and says, nah, you need to go ahead and move tonight. But we have sleeping kids. The ranger points to me. So does she. You need to move. Much cussing and grumbling, but they finally move their RV. It takes them a solid 45 minutes to get it slotted into that microscopic site. And here we are, Sunday afternoon, and their loud kids and their off-leash rat dogs are still in the site next door. The sites are fairly well spaced, so at least it's muted by the trees. Yesterday morning, one of the kids screams, "Why aren't we in the nice site anymore?" The mum, or maybe grandma, I honestly was reading a book and not looking, then screams back, "Well, those people over there took our site." Yeah, you should have booked earlier, my friends. Normally, we cook more food than we can eat and share with our neighbours, but no steak for you. Also, an update. Monday afternoon, checkout time was 11. When we left, our friends were still there with no signs of packing up. So, to no one's surprise, the "we're leaving tomorrow" line was total BS. There were 3 adults in the site that we saw. One man, one older woman, and another woman who was maybe mid-40s, plus a handful of small children. The older lady was by far the more argumentative of them, but the whole interaction never escalated beyond passive-aggressive comments. The younger lady was quieter. Shock of all shocks, the younger of the 2 women came up to us yesterday evening and apologised for the other woman's behaviour. We told her it was a bad idea, but she wouldn't listen, she said. She wanted the bigger site. She always tries to pull trash like this. She was extremely apologetic, wow. So all's well that ends well. We lost an hour or so at the beginning of our trip, but we had an amazing weekend with friends. We got a story out of it, and the neighbours didn't try to slash our tyres. A successful weekend. Happy camping to you all. And there we go. Good on the ranger, by the way, is the first thing I want to say, because he knew this was not going to be sorted at 7 a.m. the next day. Because it wouldn't be, he would be the one that had to deal with it. As the top comment says here, the ranger has defo dealt with their kind before, exactly. And he was like, you know what, no, I'm not getting up that early to deal with that BS, which is very fair. But yeah, overall, pretty insane. Like, it's just annoying when you get punished for booking something as early as you have done, because you're the ones that are organized. Other people that are less organized then just kind of steal your stuff. And yeah, it didn't ruin your trip, but it definitely affected the start of it. And I know you're looking at it from a positive point of view, which I respect, fair play. But apart from the fact you've got a story to tell, it probably was just very annoying. So it's a shame that this sort of thing exists. But yeah, fair play to you for dealing with it as respectfully as you did. And now for our third story, which also includes a big update. My neighbour's daughter just told me I need to park in my driveway again. I either don't encounter many entitled people in my day, or I'm really good at ignoring people. But this one just took the cake. So, I am a 40-year-old woman, and I just got my driveway replaced 2 days ago. Asphalt, not concrete. The contractor told me I could park my car on it again after 3 days. Google said 7 to 10. As much money as I spent on it, I decide I'm going to listen to Google. I live on a two-way, yet one driving lane street. On my side, all of the houses are street level and have driveways, while the houses across the street are on a bit of a hill with steps leading up to them. The only street parking is on my side. Their side has an alleyway or service road behind them where those owners could park. A lot of them chose not to. They'd rather park in front of our houses. Not a big deal. I don't own the street, and I don't care who parks there as long as they aren't blocking me in. There are 2 spots, sedan-sized, between every driveway. I've been parking on the street in front of my house for these 2 days now, and I plan to stay there for at least another 5 until my driveway's ready. I didn't park in the middle so that no other car can also park because I'm not a jerk. One of my across the street neighbours has a daughter who's home from college. 19 maybe, I don't know. What I do know is she drives an SUV that is entirely too big and won't fit in front of my car without partially blocking the driveway of the neighbour next to me. I'm outside this morning watering my flowers, minding my dang business, and this girl comes over, unannounced and uninvited. The conversation went like this. The girl said, "No hello by the way, no pleasantries. Hey, when are you moving your car?" Excuse me? My truck can't fit with your car there. I look over to my driveway that is clearly still roped off with yellow caution tape. I just got my driveway done. Yeah, I see that, but it looks dry to me. My dad said asphalt doesn't take as long as concrete. I just smile and go back to watering. You can park your car on it now. I take a deep breath. Clearly, I'm annoyed. Drying and curing aren't exactly the same. I won't be parking on it for another few days. No, you need to do it now. There's nowhere else for me to park. What am I supposed to do? This is where my eyes started to twitch because not this little girl telling me what I need to do. I say through clenched teeth, "What about your service road?" My parents park back there. There's no room. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I wish you an ounce of luck. The poor child turned a few shades of red and stomped back across the street. I'm not one of those older millennials who think Gen Z are all entitled babies, but what the heck was that? And in case you're wondering, I work from home, did all my grocery shopping and errand running a few days ago. I have no plans on leaving the house or my spot again until at least Wednesday. So, should just have to suffer. Now let's get straight into the update for this one. Wow, okay, so I didn't expect as many comments as I got. I also had no plans on doing any updates because I didn't think there would be one. First, just to address a couple of things that came up constantly in the comments. And by the way, there were literally thousands of comments, over 1,000 comments, wow. Why don't you park blocking your own driveway so she can fit? Which is a fair question. I considered doing this the day the work was done, but not because of her. She nor her spaceship ever crossed my mind. I was going to do it so that no one could attempt to use my driveway to do a 3-point turn, but I decided not to. Not to be vindictive, I just simply didn't think it was necessary. I genuinely didn't see an issue with me parking on the street. Also, despite the arguing in the comments, in PA, blocking a driveway, even your own, is illegal. I live in a suburb where the PD has nothing better to do than just drive around. I don't actually believe they would enforce it or ticket me for it though, unless they were truly bored. Wow, you can't even block your own driveway. That's insane. Like, in the UK, in London especially, people do that all the time. They'll park one car in their driveway and then another car perhaps over their driveway. That's crazy to me. I suppose there's probably more space in PA. OP continues. However, after that exchange, I wasn't going to do a single damn thing to accommodate her. If that makes me the entitled one, then I'll be that. Taking up one space in front of my own house seems, I don't know, perfectly reasonable though. Yeah, absolutely. Now, other people said, you can park on it now. Google is being over the top. I actually agree, OP says. 7 to 10 days is a little outlandish. However, my concern is my car sitting there for prolonged periods. If I were leaving every day for 8+ hours, I'd be more inclined to start parking on it now. However, I really don't leave often for more than maybe 2 hours at a time, a couple of days a week. My car is a 2018 and only has 24,000 miles on it. I'm a homebody for real. Also, my driveway previously was crumbling, but also sinking in exactly where my tyres lined up. Coincidence? I think not. Yeah, just further on that. If that was me, I would also be as careful as possible. I wouldn't leave it a couple of days. I'd leave it like a week, 2 weeks, as long as I could. You never want to have to think about your driveway ever again, so you want to make sure everything is as set as possible, especially given that you are having to replace it and it has crumbled before. Someone else said, I hope you have cameras. She's going to vandalize your car. I do have cameras, in plain view. I also have a motion detection dash cam, but I'm not too concerned about that. Like I said, it's a 7-year-old car that's been paid off for 2 years. If she's dumb enough to have to buy me a new one, that's on her. Also, her father is pretty high on our district school board. I didn't go looking for that information, he told me that years ago. I don't think he'd take too kindly to his daughter tanking his reputation over something so trivial. Lastly, thank you to everyone for all of the petty suggestions. I got a laugh out of those. I won't be buying a clunker to sit in front of my house until the dawn of time, but I appreciate the dedication. I hope that context helped because the update is not juicy at all. Okay, earlier today, Sunday, I was outside on a video call with another contractor showing them my fence that needs replaced. My neighbour, the father, was also outside doing yard work. He waved and I gave him a polite smile and continued with my conversation. When he saw that I'd hung up, he waved again to get my attention and came across the street. He started by asking me my version of events yesterday, and I told him. He kinda looked mortified and just shook his head and mumbled, "That's her mother." He then proceeded to tell me how his daughter got all of his good traits and all of his wife's bad ones. What? I don't know what that meant, and I didn't really care. Sorry, I've never heard anyone ever say something like that. Imagine saying that about your daughter. They got all of my good traits and all of my wife's bad ones. What a ridiculous thing to say. Okay, OP continues. I will say that I have owned my house for 9 years and I've never once had a single interaction with the wife. Only with him. She's never acknowledged me and I'm okay with that. He also cleared up a few things. She's 21, not 19. Not that it matters, I just got that wrong. 2. The Suburban she's driving isn't hers. If you live anywhere in PA, you know we've had some pretty destructive storms over the last couple of months. Well, one of them claimed the daughter's normal size Hyundai by dropping a tree on it. She is renting the Suburban because she's going on a 6-week road trip with friends to CA. Not the most fuel efficient choice, but okay. The important part is she leaves next Saturday. And 3, he never sent her over here to say anything to me and didn't tell her about asphalt drying time with the intentions of her bringing it up to me. Apparently, he was just making small talk about the work that was done because he was home that day and she wasn't. She brought up that I wasn't in my driveway and he told her why. He apologized and said he would have her do the same. I told him that wasn't necessary. I really don't want to interact with her again for any reason. He is now parking in front of my house so that she has room for her school bus behind their house. That's it. She's leaving on Saturday, and while I'm not going to leave my car on the street until Christmas, I'm still leaving it there until Wednesday. be kind. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this dad, I will say, just because of that good traits, bad traits comment, which is just such a strange thing to say. I must double down on that. But it does, to me at least, sound like it's the girl on her own who is extremely entitled, or maybe her mum as well, but the dad seems overall pretty reasonable apart from that weird comment. Yeah, it's a strange thing. Like in the UK, we just don't have anything like that ever. If other people do park over your driveway, you sort of leave a note on their car and then it doesn't happen again. And you are allowed to park over people's driveways. Well, you're not, but you're allowed to park over your own. In fact, as I said, a lot of people do that. But yeah, interesting story. Imagine saying you need to park in your own driveway. No, just insane. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this one. Really hope you enjoyed it. Before I go, I do just want to say thank you to those of you that gave me some harsh but fair criticism in my latest new story episode, which was posted on January the 31st. As you could probably tell, as I was narrating that post, I knew that you guys would not agree with me in the comments down below, but I'm not sort of single-minded enough to be like, oh, I'm right and I can't possibly be wrong. As in, it was obvious to me that I was missing quite a lot as I was reading it, but I wanted to be honest with my thoughts anyway. And having read a lot of your comments on the episode, I now understand. So thank you for that. You know, you got to remember, I am a 27-year-old man, a 27-year-old white man. So being completely honest, like a lot of my life experience probably isn't on the same level as other people that watch these episodes, or just different people out there. And as much as I like try and educate myself, I can't, you know, empathize with everyone really, because I don't know what people have gone through. But you know, as much as I can try. So yeah, sometimes it's good for me to listen to the comments. And yeah, thank you for the education. If you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, I will put a thumbnail up on screen to my left. That was the episode, and also it will be on screen in the end screen as well. Actually, in fact, it's right there right now, so click on that. See if you agree with my thoughts. You probably won't, but also importantly, read the comments. Thank you for listening and watching once again. I will catch you on the next one.